How's it going, everybody? So in this video, I'm going to be talking about my own personal experience taking Polyrhachis black ant this year. I've actually been taking Polyrhachis black ant pretty consistently, almost every single day for the last 11 months, actually. Yeah. I started taking it actually in December of last year, so it's been almost 11 months, actually. Yeah. All right. So there's a lot of things I experience with it, and I've kind of experimented. I've tried taking it out of my stack for a couple weeks, and then I tried bumping up the doses and trying different timing, taking it different times and things. And so just so I could really try to see what exactly is going on, right? What is it actually doing? So just a little heads up, there's actually some really good scientific literature. There's an entire review of all the science available. It's pretty recent. So I'm going to be going over the scientific backing of Polyrhachis black ant in a different video where I go more kind of into technical details on it. But some of the kind of things you need to know right now is that Polyrhachis black ant, it is the ground up ants, like black ants, a very specific species of ants that is typically found surrounding the ginseng plants. And that's actually where it first started in Chinese medicine becoming a common tonic herb, is that the locals actually found these ants like consuming the ginseng plants, and they had exceptional longevity. I think it was something like 2 to 3 times. They lived 2 to 3 times longer than ants that were not consuming the ginseng plant. So it's a very specific species and type of ant, and it has lore that goes back thousands of years that is tightly related back to ginseng, and it's like an interrelated type of kind of synergy, right? Typically, it's best to take Polyrhachis black ant along with the ginseng product that works with your own constitution, right? So a lot of this year, I was actually taking the Polyrhachis black ant alongside red Panax ginseng. But for a lot of the year, I wasn't taking I wasn't taking ginseng with it. So anyway, let's kind of dive in. So there are a number of compounds that are found in Polyrhachis black ant. And there's a number of benefits that are associated with taking it. Some of the biggest benefits that have been constantly claimed with Polyrhachis black ant are basically improving your motivation, improving your energy, improving sports performance, improving your manliness and your sexual function. These are all things that are greatly associated with Polyrhachis black ant. A lot of the benefits that that have been claimed in traditional Chinese medicine texts that are also kind of suggested in the scientific literature, and that I've actually noticed as well, are benefits that are associated with anything that kind of improves the functioning of androgens or testosterone or things like that. And you know, these days people are more open to the fact that some of these plants are very powerful in regards to androgenic or, you know, steroid-like effects. Even though it's not going to make you actually look like you take steroids or anything, it's completely different levels. But people these days are into things like Tongkat Ali and these other things. But Polyrhachis works differently. So the scientific literature has identified multiple compounds that are actually found in Polyrhachis black ant that work as precursors to dopamine, okay? And it contains unique dopamine precursors. So if you've watched my videos on L-tyrosine and phenylalanine and L-dopa and mecunapurins, you understand that there are a lot of compounds that can actually be produced into dopamine. And Polyrhachis contains unique compounds you can't really find anywhere else. A number of those compounds I'll be going into detail in a different video. And a lot of these dopamine precursor compounds also have the unique benefit of offsetting the production of prolactin. And prolactin is kind of an antagonist to testosterone and dopamine and androgenic-like compounds. And prolactin is kind of counterproductive to all of the things that we're looking to improve. So you can think of Polyrhachis black ant as a dopamine stimulating, kind of testosterone optimizing type plant. And it also has another benefit for things like sports performance and energy. It contains precursors to ATP. So a lot of people, they'll take things like creatine, or they'll take things like D-ribose, because they kind of have they kind of contain building blocks to either creatine phosphate or ATP is like the really end product. And it's one of the reasons why there's a lot of, fascination surrounding carb loading and stuff like that. And even magnesium supplementation. A lot of people are really fixated on improving the synthesis of ATP. And so, there's even supplements like peak ATP, which are direct like supplementing like of ATP, which we don't know if that really helps with actual production or not, how much of it's absorbed and bioavailable. But by taking Polyrhachis black ant, not only are you taking direct dopamine precursors, but you're also consuming ATP precursors. Another thing about Polyrhachis black ant, and this is something that's very popular these days, is that it's a potent source of ecdiosterone, or what you kind of think of as insect steroids or insect hormones, okay? So, there's been a lot of talk about compounds like freaking terkesterone and stuff like that. And there's people that swear by taking these insect hormones, ecdiosterone or whatever, which is similar to terkesterone. They're just, exogenous hormones that are actually legal and whatnot. And so, yeah, a really good way of consuming these things is to get them in a concentrated extract of black ant. This is another reason why I like Polyrhachis black ant, is because it contains those insect steroids, those insect hormones, okay? Again, these are not going to have the same effect as like if you shoot up Tren or TRT or whatever. But they have benefits that are in line with that. Most people are not looking to be a fucking steroid freak. Most men are looking to have better libido, better focus, better motivation. If they just feel more manly and feel better, then that's what they really want, And they'll admit they don't want to take steroids because they don't want to look like Ronnie Coleman or whatever. And there's a lot of side effects that are not healthy associated with, obviously, anabolic steroids. And so, to me, since this has really been used as a health tonic for thousands of years and to boost longevity and all this other stuff, and it's more targeted towards boosting manliness, though. For me, I've been taking Polyrhachis as well as cordyceps and pine pollen and other things for a while. I find this to be an extremely effective way of achieving exactly what these people want. A lot of people, they go towards macunaprurins and these more extreme things that are mostly kind of like, whatever. Actually, I don't think macuna is that extreme. So let me discuss what I've experienced, okay? I've experienced undeniable improvements in my athletic endurance, specifically revolving around jiu-jitsu performance and my ability to just keep going and going and going. My muscles can go a lot longer, even without doing extensive endurance training. My body adapts to endurance type training faster, and I'm able to get more out of it with Polyrhachis black ant. I was taking the Hyperion herbs extract pretty extensively, along with their cordyceps, and back when they were still in pine pollen and everything, back in January of 2022. And that was when I dominated my jiu-jitsu performance, and I just felt like a god. And I think a lot of it has to do with the Polyrhachis black ant, which he doesn't sell anymore, unfortunately. That was the best Polyrhachis black ant I've ever tried, and I've tried a lot of different versions. None of them stack up to what he was selling. So, and finding a good extract's hard. There's not a lot of companies now that still sell it, okay? And the ones that do can be a bit questionable in their potency and effects. But I just felt like I had more ATP. I felt like I had more physical, molecular chemical energy. Like if you know, what people kind of think about carb loading and stuff, which isn't really accurate, I felt like I got those benefits from it. I felt like it was supplying me something that, that would just help me keep going. Like you have cordyceps, which helps the body recycle ATP. Then you have the Polyrhachis black ant that directly can supply it. So I thought that was key. Another thing is just more kind of calm, grounding, masculine energy is what I felt. So what a lot of people, the science kind of associates with optimal, healthy testosterone, or what, these people that stereotype, what they call like alpha male traits, which I think is just corny and cringy. But basically what they see as alpha male characteristics. Like, I think you naturally start to feel those traits if you just get your dopamine and your chemistry into the right ranges. You will feel that after consuming Polyrhachis black ant. For me, taking pine pollen, and Polyrhachis together, I've definitely felt a lot more of that. It's just easier. You don't have to try hard. You don't have to try to pretend to be alpha, which is so stupid and cringy, because your energetics are in alignment. And that's what Chinese medicine is about. It's about if your brain chemistry is not right, like if your attitude, if your natural kind of aura is not right, it's indicative of imbalances in your health. And you can remedy that through nutrition, through meditation, and through herbs. And it's interesting to me that these alpha male groups or whatever, self-improvement groups, they're talking about meditation and herbs and nutrition and stuff to be healthier and this and that, and to try to obtain this ideal of alpha male bullshit, when in reality this has been preached in Chinese medicine for years, but they just see it as becoming healthy through balancing your energy using meditation, nutrition, and stuff. Anyway, yeah, so these, it's just these people are repackaging it and making it a gimmick now, and it's cringy. Especially when I had friends that started talking about, I got to be alpha, and oh, get away from me. But it's just it's weird. All right, so anyway, yeah, so for basically Polyrhachis black ant will make you more naturally alpha. All right, let's say that, right? Yeah, and as far as sex drive and stuff like that, I don't feel like it's like maca root. I feel like maca root stimulates your libido and makes you abnormally horny. I feel like Polyrhachis black ant makes you more healthy and naturally horny towards natural stimulus. I don't feel the overwhelming urge to just, whatever. I don't feel urges. That's what maca does. I feel like it's a healthy, controllable, grounded sexual energy that's being boosted by the Polyrhachis. So, for me personally, my recommendation is find a really high quality source. If Hyperion Herbs starts selling it again, definitely go for theirs. The only other company that I've found that has a decent one is Lost Empire Herbs. It's a 10-to-1 dual extract. And I've seen others. You could ask me what brands, but I'll tell you, most of them are not potent enough. They're too expensive, whatever. You need a concentrated extract for it to work. I recommend taking about a teaspoon of a 10-to-1 Polyrhachis extract per day, along with cordyceps, about a teaspoon, recommending the Hyperion Herbs brand specifically, but any kind of concentrated extract, 10 to 1 at least, that specifies, as well as Mucuna prurens and cracked cell wall pine pollen, okay? I think that is a great stack. And there's some other things you can take to optimize it, like maybe some nettle root extract, and maybe some Sustanch. But I haven't tried Sustanch, so I don't think I could recommend it with confidence. So I think if you have this locked down and you found the right stuff, I think it will help you like insurmountably, and you will feel absolutely amazing. So if y'all are interested in a more detailed scientific breakdown of the actual studies and science underlying the compounds it contains, a more historical overview of its uses and things, let me know and I'll make one. So Polyrhachis black ant, freaking amazing. I think it's the number one thing you should be looking towards if you really want to improve your athletic performance, your kind of just like vitality and kind of like grounded masculine energy, and improving your dopamine and all things in a healthy way. I'm not talking about, how can you feel good and still masturbate 10 times a day. Like you're never going to feel good doing that. So don't try to hack bad habits. But how can you just like feel grounded, healthy, and clean, basically, and fulfilled and whatever else. So leave your question, comments down below and let me know. Is this something that interests you? And what do you think? And what was your experience with it? And are you looking to try it? Let me know. And what do you recommend for dopamine and for masculine feelings that you really, really notice? What is your favorite herb that works similar to this? Let me know in the comments.